So, welcome to yet another episode of Vārtalāap. How are you?
I'm doing good. Hi, everyone who's watching. I'm with Yash, and it's gonna be an interesting conversation.
Yeah, so basically, let me share your Instagram. What's the idea behind the name basically?
So, I was very confused at first when I wanted to start this YouTube channel and an Instagram page because I was like, what should I go with? Because my name and the surname, it becomes too big. So I was
Yeah,
like, people won't remember or something. So then I watch anime and I'm like very much into Japanese culture and all. So I was like, maybe I'll uh, search for some name, the good name in Japanese. And I used to look for some names and all, but randomly one day I was searching and I found this name Yuzuki, which is it
okay.
means gentle smile in Japanese. And my actual name, my real name, which is Smith, that also means gentle smile or smile in Gujarati. So I found that connection right there. So I was like, yeah, let's just go with that. So
Yeah, I
that's
mean,
the yeah,
some people it's easier for them to get a name and go with it, and some
yeah.
people do need to get a whole philosophy behind the name.
Yeah. So I needed let's say I just wanted to have some philosophy behind it. So yeah, that's why I was searching and I found it, and meaning was also kind of similar. So yeah, that's the main reason behind it.
Yeah. So for the intros, you basically are a cinematographer and a filmmaker,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you do freelance work also, and you are doing your bachelor's in data
Bachelor's in
science
science.
from
Yeah,
your bachelor's in science in IIT Madras.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so how's the experience in the degree right now?
So actually, to tell you a bit about my journey, I was preparing for JE back in when I was 11th, 12th. So I
Okay.
had my 12th in 2021, which was like COVID year. So the boards did not happen, and the JE situation was also kind of rough because the dates were postponing and all. So
Yeah,
yeah, that was a bit messed up, and I didn't score that much in that. So after that, I went to a college, a nearby college. It's like a private college here, and I took computer science, BTech in computer science there, and I studied there for like 10 days, and I didn't like it that much because the syllabus was outdated, and
yeah,
if dev C++ and all, that's like very past stuff, and they were still continuing with that. So I found my experience really bad. That's why I decided to drop the college, and I wanted to actually study for JE, and I wanted to give it a chance. So I took a drop year and I prepared for JE once again in 2022. But the COVID situation was there, and exams again did get postponed. So there was all that stuff, and after that, I could basically I'm from a general category, so even after scoring some decent percentile, I couldn't go in like top college with top branches and stuff. And
yeah,
then I ended up again in a private college, so I went there, and again it was kind of a same cycle because I went there, the fees were already too high, and I was going there, the people around were not that, the crowd was just there for
yeah.
the degree
They
and
are a
time
bit
pass and all.
different. Yeah,
Yeah, and my interest didn't align with anyone, so I was just alone going to classes and then coming back and thinking what am I doing and all. So that time I found this IITM degree which was online, so I started it then. And then I stayed in that private college for like a month and a half, and then I was like, this online degree is going well for me because it was, first of all, online. It is for IITM, and it's not like it's easy or anything, but I get some more time rather than if I was just in normal college and doing my 9 to 5 classes and then
yeah,
doing what I want like to do and what I wanted to do. So then I talked with my parents. It was a bit hard because they were like that, BTech degree is still that quote unquote famous in India, that everyone goes for BTech, majority of the
yeah,
people that take science and maths and all. So it was a bit hard to convince them, but I finally did. And since then, I'm pursuing this online degree. So I'm getting much more time to work on my passion, which is filmmaking and creating videos and all.
Yeah. So like, is it different from like actually attending the college offline
Hmm.
versus online and like particularly in IIT Madras?
Yeah, it's definitely different because uh, in college you have to go to classes and all, which have which has a specific timing. In this degree we get like some recorded classes, and then there are some live sessions as well. So
Okay.
again, the live session recording are also provided, but yeah, you can like, it's kind of you can do it at your own time and all. We do have weekly graded assignments, so we have to complete that by watching that week's course content and all. But it's a bit flexible, so I would not have to like sit at this particular time to attend class or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, like I also started my college in 2020 November, and
Oh,
basically the first around 1.5 year was online,
online, yeah, yeah.
and mostly hybrid. So like it was
Hmm.
like not really that good. So yeah, tell me about your like filmmaking. How did you get started in it? And like uh, because to like pursue something, you do have to need a kick of sorts behind it.
Yeah.
So like, what's your story about it?
So actually, when lockdown hit, I was just sitting in my room and like watching this YouTubers pop up. If you know Nicholas Crystal, he's like, his dopamine video blew up, and I saw it and I was really blown away that people do actually make these kind of videos. Because before that, I wasn't that aware of YouTube, because our school was online, school was offline and everything was offline. So we
Yeah.
used to go to classes and then back to home, done tuition and all, or in the free time playing and all. So this online world wasn't there that much. So after lockdown, I got introduced to the online world and I watched many people. And then I got inspired that I also want to do something like this. But again, that time I was preoccupied with studies and boards and JE and all. So I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
one day for sure I want to start something that, like, I want to create videos by myself or whatever. So yeah, from there I started, and then after I told you, like, I left that college in 2022. After that I slowly started, but then again it was like not a, I didn't have that boost over, because I didn't have that much resources. I didn't have a laptop. I had like a old PC which is like 2 GB RAM, and it didn't even used to handle like Chrome browser and all properly.
Yeah.
And then
Windows 7
I
maybe.
Windows 8, yeah, it was Windows 8,
Oh yeah. Okay.
and that also unofficial and all.
Yeah.
So it didn't used to handle much things. So I just used to attend my classes online in IITM, and I used to do nothing much more. But then like, I talked with my father, and then eventually I got a laptop. So then I started watching and observing people, and then I bought a workshop, a storytelling and editing workshop from a creator. He's an Indian
Okay.
creator, and he was also doing this stuff with his like alongside with his college pursuit. So I got inspired by him.
I mean,
I mean, I
which, if you wanna share the name.
sure, it was Akash Majumdar. So I
Okay.
bought his, yeah, I bought his workshop, and then after that, I created my first ever video. It was like a 2.5 minute short film. I mostly shot and edited it by myself. It was like my first time writing a script and then shooting actually, and then editing with,
Yeah,
because
the running one, right? Which
yeah,
I, yeah,
yeah, the
it's on
running.
your YouTube.
Yeah, it's on my. That was the first video that I actually uploaded, because that was the first time I wrote a script properly and then shot, and it was the first time that I like opened the Premiere Pro, Adobe Premiere Pro, which is a famous editing software. Before that, I didn't used to do that much, and in phone there are some apps and that I used for once and twice, but yeah, I didn't used to like properly edit anything. So that was my first time editing, and I was really happy that, because it was my first video, and I was at that time I was satisfied with the result, because I spent like around 1 week doing everything from
Okay.
scripting to shooting then editing. And it's a long time to make 2.5 minutes video, but yeah, I gave it my all, and that was how my first video was created.
Yeah, I guess we can watch that video
Yeah, sure.
once.
So I was taking a walk the
Is the audio audible to you?
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
actually, if you know Kendrick Lamar, there is his album, and then there is a song from his album. So in this particular line, he says, "So I was taking a walk the other day." So I started from there, and then I went into my voiceover.
Yeah, I have seen this and
Yeah,
like I did notice it.
so I was taking a walk the other day.
And I saw a kid. He was trying really hard to keep up with a guy who was running. I just looked forward and continued my walking until I felt his emotions all too well and I wondered why. I came back home and was going about my day, but something felt unusual. I found myself still thinking about what happened in the morning. Then I remembered a story from 2 years ago. Story of a guy desperately trying to accomplish a goal to run for 5 kilometers straight each day. His start was poor because of not having much stamina, but still he kept at it. 1 lap, 2 laps, 3 laps, and he'd stop. He'd give up. But he'd push again. Because he had to. 10 laps, 11 laps, 12 laps, and suddenly, just after being really close to his target, now he couldn't move for a month or maybe even more. All those efforts, all in vain, just like that. Is this the end? On a chilly morning of 1st December, he showed up at the ground again. No motivation for anything, nor any goal to achieve this time. Just weird curiosity to see the ground again. It's all the same, huh? Just a few more people. And he started walking. But before he knew, his legs started moving and he was on the track, running again. Was it difficult? Oh, hell, it was. He was so close to complete his first lap after 5 months. His steps were faltering as if his body was telling him to just stop. But a voice came from inside that said, "No, we can't." He was on his way again to achieve something that he almost couldn't before, and he wasn't gonna let go of it. One step at a time again. But did he achieve it this time? For that,
So I was taking a walk the other day.
Okay, so I guess it is a story about perseverance, right?
yeah, yeah,
So like basically he wanted to run and like he started running and like injured himself, I guess,
yeah.
and then he felt bad about it and like then continued again and then he went on. So like again, what was the idea? Like what motivated you to pick this particular like
Because
not
yeah,
like not genre but the topic? And
yeah,
like there are many things in a video, like the storytelling, the shooting, the editing, and the effects, I guess, and like all of these are up to the mark for the first project, I guess.
yeah, yeah. So actually, it was November when I posted it, and it was like the same time when I created it. And in winter, like I used to go to like walk and run every day, like the last winter before this video dropped. So that time I was at my peak in my running and in my walking, everything, because I was like really into it. I was going every day. I was disciplined, and I was consistent as well. But at this time matlab, at this time I had injured, like a few months ago I had injured my leg, so that was actual part. And after that I couldn't continue, so all that what I achieved before was just like thrown away, because I achieved that much. And in running, it's like if you don't be consistent that much, then it just goes away. You have to start
Yeah,
from scratch again. So that's what I tried to did again in that last winter. So that's why I was like, I want to convey a message that no matter what, no matter how big of a goal you achieve and then it goes down, it's all about just starting again and doing it again and again. That's what gets you results, and eventually that's what gets you happiness. It's not about like hitting that personal record once or twice. It's about you just doing it, even if you fall off, or even if you can't do it or can't continue it because of some reason that. But it's just about picking yourself up again and then doing it, even if you have to do it from the scratch. So yeah, that was my main idea and message that I wanted to convey.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it did work. And
Yeah.
like you did script it, I guess. And like, what's your like right now? What's your storytelling perspective? Like, how do you personally approach it?
Like in general, the videos that I create.
No, no, the storytelling part in them.
The storytelling part, yeah, yeah. So basically, what I do is I randomly get ideas whenever like I'm taking a walk or in the morning, whatever. I'm just eating or I get randomly an idea. So what I do is I just write it out in a notepad or whatever I have at that time, and then after some time or after whatever, when I want to create work on a new video, I just go through that list of the written ideas that I already got before. So I just go through them and then I think like, yeah, this idea I can pick up. So I just think about it more, and then what I do is I just write that, like I just write whatever comes to my mind. It's not like I do a script proper in first go. I just write
Okay.
whatever comes to my mind, and then I, in 2 3 iterations, I figure it out that okay, this will work this way, and I can say it like this or whatever, so it will be perfect video. Because you also have to take care of visuals and all. So
Yeah.
yeah, I just go through it 2 3 times in iterations, and then I figure it out that yeah, this will work, and this is the perfect way according to me right now to go about this idea.
So like again to summarize, you get an idea and like you write it, and
Yeah,
when you have to do a video or like a project, you
yeah,
just pick a good enough idea and like write the story about it,
yeah.
and then see how to like script it so that it can be like visually good.
Yeah, I just dump my mind whatever comes to my mind, and then I read it 2 3 times, so I get like that, oh, this is too much, this I can remove, or this is just perfect, this I can keep, or I can like frame it in different way or whatever. Then I prepare the final script, and then I go for visuals and all. Like sometimes I
Uh,
prepare. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah, continue.
Sometimes I prepare that this line is like that, so this b-roll can come with it, or I can shoot something like this that can go well with it. And sometimes I just use some random shots that I've taken before.
So you like get your own B rolls or they are stock?
No, no, I get my own b-rolls, but I have like this collection. So where actually basically wherever I go, I just shoot some things, and then
Okay.
I have it in my collection. So whenever I'm working on a next idea and I feel like I have this b-roll, so I just take it out from there and put it in my video.
And this particular story about the perseverance thing, like did you shoot in a dedicated camera or like a phone?
No, no, I shoot with my phone, which is Samsung S21 FE.
Okay, because like many people do think uh, they do require a good camera for it, and like
Yeah,
to me personally, I would prefer a dedicated camera because again, like a phone is a bit distracting, and if you are doing it in a dedicated camera, it is like having a more of a intention and a better story.
yeah, it definitely helps with better shots and all. But as of right now, I don't have that much budget. So, and
Yeah,
you know, I didn't want, yeah, I didn't want to go for some cheap camera right now and then again invest in a heavy camera. So I was like, I'll save for now whatever I can from my freelancing work and from whatever
yeah,
other
yeah.
money that I can save. So I'll eventually I'll buy a camera. But yeah, right now I'm just learning, and also for now I'm doing it with my phone. But in my opinion, it's not at all necessary that if you want to get started that you'll need a camera. Because you know, some people, they don't even know about the basic camera things, like there is ISO, there
Yeah.
is aperture, there is shutter speed. So there is a pro mode in your phone. I guess it's in every phone nowadays. So
Yeah,
if you are,
mostly.
yeah, if you are just starting out, then I feel like to experiment more, you can start with your phone. So you get at least basics done, so that after you get a budget and then after you get a camera, it's easier for you to work with. Because there are many elements in a video. Like if I give you a 1 lakh camera and you don't have a good lighting setup, it will still look
Yeah.
bad. So I feel like once I get the basics concept done, like lighting and then camera, I learn about camera more. I learn about framing, how I can frame my shots better. How I can master other different angles, how I can shoot from it, and all that stuff. After that, getting a camera, it enhances your video quality like much faster. Because if you are doing it that in starting, it's a bit harder if you don't already know the concepts and all.
Yeah, I
So
mean, I
yeah,
guess it's all about like how bad you want it, and
yeah,
like if you have a like budget for a camera, like you should get one. And if you
sure, sure,
don't
yeah,
have one, and like you can also learn it with in a phone, and like it, if you are better at it, it won't like make a lot of difference.
yeah. So basically, my tip is, or my thinking is, if you don't have a camera and if you don't have a budget for it, it's not any excuse to just not get started. If
Yeah,
you are really
definitely.
passionate about it, yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I guess even a very crappy camera would work if you have like a dedication of that level.
yeah, 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 definitely.
Yeah, so like what camera are you gonna buy next? Is it
Uh,
like a vlogger's camera, or like a dedicated DSLR, or like a mirrorless? And there is also a new wave of coming, the point and shoot cameras.
No, I was thinking to buy some Sony Alpha series camera, which would be
Okay,
better for me to like shoot like A roll that I shoot in my room or whatever, and also the
yeah.
B rolls. I'll also have to buy one lens at least to do that. So yeah,
Yeah, I guess many people only focus on the camera bit and not the lens thing.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, it's like easier to have that lens, because if you want to shoot good B rolls, because A roll is I feel like A roll is easier than B rolls, because if you do a good lighting setup, you are in your room, you have like other resources, you can make it
Yeah,
look a bit better and all with that. But if you want to do actually shoot B rolls, because there are in the when you go out, you don't have every condition in favor of you, so you have to look out for other things and all. So yeah, I feel like lens would help me, so that's why I'm aiming for that.
yeah, lenses too, and I guess framing would also work if
Yeah,
the quality and the lighting is very poor.
yeah.
And like I wanted to like you said you document your life.
Hmm.
So is it mostly to like create these kinds of video, or like you also document in general?
In general, like I don't document like daily vloggers or whatever, that hello guys, I'm doing this or I'm doing that. I just feel like I want to share my experiences as I go through life. So it can be as little as buying a pen or having a meaning behind it, or it can be as big as buying my new camera and the struggle behind it or whatever. I just want to like convey or tell my experience. So I'll document in that way.
Okay, yeah, I get it. And like I guess the whole vlogging thing is very absurd to me, because
Yeah,
and it's like very commercialized right now, because you can show the very, I mean, all the aspects of your life and get an audience which are interested in it. And like it
yeah,
does tell a lot about your audience mentality also. So
yeah,
I guess 1 million of like a scientist discussing science topics and like how to save a world would be very vastly better than a vlogger who is just documenting his average life.
yeah. So it's like
Yeah,
for me, I don't want to just do that, like just pick up my phone and camera and hello guys, I today I did
yeah,
this or today I went there or whatever. I just want to share stories which people can relate to, or
yeah,
which people can experience life through someone else's perspective.
yeah.
Yeah,
So I guess the vlogs which I do like are maybe because of the personality, and
yeah,
secondly, the story part.
Yeah.
Because I guess the camera wale bhaiya, which he
Yeah.
does, they are very cinematic and full of stories. But in
Yeah.
like in common, they are vlog basically.
Yeah.
And if a person is watching them, he is also understanding very uh, like vast things and like opening his mind. And if a
Yeah.
person is only watching those vlogs in which the only thing is entertainment, so I guess
Yeah.
it's just entertainment and like it's very cheap.
And most of the times their audience is just like 14-15-year-old kids who want to, or who think that this is the lifestyle they want to live, just having bikes and cars around and buying new stuff
Yeah.
every day, buying an iPhone and whatever. So I
I
feel
mean,
like,
don't even get me started on the cars thing. Like they get I mean 6 or 7 hand car or
yeah,
bike from like
or
abroad, and
rent
like
them. Yeah.
yeah, and rent them and they show as if they have bought them.
Yeah, exactly. And because kids at that age are, kind of dumb, so they believe that,
Yeah,
oh, this guy's doing something crazy, I also want to be like him or whatever.
I mean the whole economics doesn't even like even if there is a very rich person, he would like only buy maybe 2 cars in a year, and
Yeah,
like they get uh
a car every other day.
two,
Yeah.
yeah, I
Yeah.
mean 2 a month or so.
Yeah.
And like it's very shitty for the things like the majority of audience are like audience as in the general public are like watching those vlogs and like
You were saying
yeah,
something.
we are
Yeah.
back.
Yes.
So I was just saying it's our like kind of responsibility to make better content and like ultimately like hope people do understand
Yeah.
what we are doing.
Yeah. At least I
Yeah,
feel that way, that if someone watches me, he feels like, or at least what I want to convey, or let people feel like that they can also do something in life, and it doesn't have to be, this flashy, and the people that they show, and what are those things. But I feel like, yeah, they should get inspired by watching people that they watch.
yeah. And like in filmmaking, what do you like about the projects of other people? Like, what do you look out for, basically?
So I look out for good videos with a great storyline, and there is like, what I whenever I watch on YouTube, there are some people that I look up to, or some people that I follow. So for me personally, I feel like my story is always on the top, because I might not be that great, and I'm just a beginner, so I'm not that great with visuals and flash editing and all. I don't even want to do flashy editing, that's a different thing. But yeah,
Yeah,
I at least want to, tell a better story, and with tell that story with a good visuals, so people can be engaged, or at least they have like good experience viewing the whole video. Because stories have been here from like way before, but people, I guess, I mean, it's not false that people's attention span is just falling. So yeah, you have to take care a bit about that. But yeah, I think for me, better story and better visuals, that goes a long way, rather than
uh,
just some talking. Yeah.
yeah. So like I have seen you have traveled a bit also in your Instagram. So
Yeah.
like, what was your favorite places recently?
So I went to Trambakeshwar, Nashik last year, and that
Okay.
was yeah, that was around like this time only in September. The weather was great because it was like rainy season, and actually it's the Trimbakeshwar Mandir is just like near a hill. Yeah, that third video, second and third video.
काफी बार कैसी दुविधा सी आ जाती है ना, ना कोई मार्ग दिखता है, ना तो कोई दिशा समझ में आती है। ऐसे में कोई करे भी तो क्या करे। खुद को ऐसी ही एक दुविधा में पाते हुए मैं निकल पड़ा था नासिक की ओर। पर क्या था ऐसा वहां पे बसते हैं वो बाबा त्र्यंबकेश्वर। कुछ अलग सा ही था उन हवा में उस दिन। थोड़ी सी बारिश, थोड़ा सा सूर्य और ठंडी ठंडी लहरें। पर मैं बस वहां खड़ा था और कोई तो कारणवश मुझे मुझे किसी बात की चिंता नहीं थी। मेरा मन शांत था और मेरा हृदय एकदम खुश। पर मेरा सफर सिर्फ यहाँ तक थोड़ी था। मुझे तो ऊपर तक जाना था देखने जहां से दक्षिण की गंगा निकलती है, ब्रह्मगिरी पर्वत के शिखर पे। जीवन में काफी बार कैसी दुविधा सी आ जाती है ना।
So like
Yeah,
that
your
was yeah.
spoken Hindi and choice of word is like very good, and I personally am on the journey to like improve my spoken English and improve my Hindi, and to go a bit towards the more pure Hindi side.
Yeah, got it.
So I guess we'll do a Hindi episode 2 in future.
Sure, sure.
Yeah, yeah. So tell me about this journey.
So actually, at that time I was really frustrated, and I just went to. I just decided to go on this trip alone. I didn't have anyone else with me. I just went there. Actually, my one of my friends is studying in a college in Nashik, so I met with her and all. But on this trip, the like this Trimbakeshwar Mandir and this Brahmagiri Hill, I went alone, and it was, to be really honest, I don't know if you believe in it, but there is something spiritual and there is something really calming. So
Yeah, I mean
after
there is.
yeah,
Yeah.
so after just reaching there, the weather and everything was just that nice, and I just felt like I was happy and I was just at peace. Like everything else, every thought that was going on in my mind, it wasn't there anymore. I was just there in my surroundings and I was just experiencing the way it comes towards me. Nothing else, no thinking or whatever. Because at that time when I shot these things, I had like I had very less charging in my phone. And when I reached at the peak, I had like 9% charging in my phone. And I had to also climb, I had to went down, and then I was going to go to Nashik where I was gonna stay the night. So even that didn't bother me. I recorded what I could, and I experienced everything. And then I just went. My phone was switched off, but yeah, I just went there without worrying about anything. I went to a bus stand. There is a small bus stand, and then I went back. But the whole experience was just, it taught me, yeah, this is the Nashik Ghats. So after
Okay.
even going there, I went to Nashik Ghat as well, and there is not generally this much water there, but at that time, so because it was monsoon, so there was so much water, and that also was a good experience. So it taught me that you don't have to, just constantly be in rush to something, that you have to get something, you have to get something. Sometimes you just have to experience life as the life comes your way, and then after that, after experiencing, then you can figure out a lot of things better, rather than just having everything in your mind all at once. So that this trip and this place is actually special to me because I really had a eye opening and a good experience there.
Yeah. So like basically in this particular video, like how did you again approach it? Because I do want to capture like the process of your
Hmm.
perspective of the process of making things. So like,
Yeah.
did you just capture the videos and the good bits and like then combine them with the voiceover, or
Yeah.
like it was something? Okay.
Essentially, I had, because I made this video, as you can see, in April this year,
Okay.
but I had that shot and everything in September last year. So that time I wasn't doing this much like creating videos or anything, but I knew that one day I'm gonna make something out of this. So at that time, whatever I could take, whatever I thought was good, I just took it. And then after, when I started making videos again in April, so I was like, let me just write a script and let me just write my experience. So again, I just dumped my thoughts and all. And then after going through it, I was like, yeah, this is the best thing that I can do. A good voiceover with a good script, and then having visual with it. So whatever I had captured, so I put through it, and then with music and my voiceover and the visuals that I already had.
And like, what about the length of the initial videos? Did you only capture 1 to 2 second videos, or like it was more of a non-thinking thing? You just got your phone out and like captured, and like after like edited in 1 or 2 seconds. I
Yeah,
mean, the
it
one or two
was.
second was it was intentional, or like after
No, no,
editing?
it wasn't intention. As I told you, like after reaching there, I wasn't thinking about anything. I was just
Yeah.
thinking I want to experience this place, and I'll
Okay.
record some videos randomly. That because you see this doors video or this anything videos, that I just took out my phone and I thought the view was great, so I just recorded it. And then I just as I went on the top of the mountain and all, I just recorded what I could, and what I from what little knowledge I had, I just recorded from that. There are some techniques that you have to stabilize and all, so I
Yeah.
used that or whatever. But yeah, there was no intention behind it. That I didn't have any script in mind, or I didn't have any story in mind. I knew I will create videos out of this, or video out of this. That's why I was capturing it. But yeah, there was no as intention as such that, yeah, I want to make it right now, so I'll capture this shot, I'll have that, or, or I'll have that shot or anything.
I mean, I guess the your approach is the like the more organic one, rather than capturing
Yeah,
the seconds and like
yeah,
working on it after you have reached your destination. And like
yeah.
it's always better to like just capture the moments and edit it afterwards.
Yeah, yeah. At least like let's say that you have a script in mind before, and you have some ideas that I want. Let's say you went there and you thought that, yeah, I want this particular shot of a waterfall. Then there are maybe that some kind of shots, that 4 or 5 shots or whatever, that you have planned
Yeah.
from for before. But other than that, I feel like what you can do is just capture your moment. The one thing that I don't have here is like my own, where there is me in the footage. So that's something was lagging. I could have done it like by telling someone that, can you record this a short video for me or whatever. So yeah, that's there. But other than that, I feel like uh, you can only manage it in the edit afterwards. So yeah, whatever just comes, just capture it. That was my approach at that time.
Uh,
Yeah,
and
then I
like
went to, yeah.
yeah, Varanasi is Kashi, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
स्वयं ही तू अग्नि है स्वयं ही
So there
तू
is this video,
अग्नि
and there
है
is also that first college trip video. It was from the same trip.
Okay.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Yeah, and like since you are doing this type of experiences and like traveling, what do you think is the like the importance of having these kind of experiences in like life in general? Because many people don't get out much even
Hmm.
after their college have ended, and like they just
Hmm.
stay and think I'll go afterwards, and then their
Hmm.
jobs come and like more responsibilities. So like
Yeah.
uh, describe how much important do you think the experiences are in life?
I think it's really important. Uh, like independent of whatever you are doing, or whatever there are some circumstances in your life. I do understand that you have more time when you are a student, and you have less time when you are doing a job. But I
Yeah.
feel like these experiences shape your life more, because yeah, you learn discipline, you learn consistency from doing your work every day, or whatever you are doing, that your passion project or along with your job or whatever. But these experiences, they give you like new lessons, and they shape your personality more, because as you grow in your life, like age wise and all, the experiences that you have, like you have had, those stay with you every day. Because I feel like you won't remember your mundane life that you have right now after 1 year. You will have something else after 1 year that you're doing. But if you have gone through some experiences, if you have traveled somewhere, or if you have even talked with someone, or anything that it can be, it will be with you forever. And I feel like there is a lesson everywhere. So because in traveling you have to, there are a lot of unexpected things. So even if you like plan and everything, like even if you plan that I'll do this, I'll do that, travel is, I feel like it's really random, and it can be really messy, or just random. Just you won't know what is coming your way next. So I feel like that's really important to have that in your life. Because if you have everything figured out, I feel like we don't grow that much, rather than we grow when we have experiences, different experiences, like when you're not comfortable somewhere, or the place you have went to is not your hometown or around your hometown. People are somewhat different, the food is somewhat different, travel is somewhat different, everything is somewhat different. So you're forced
Yeah.
to get out of your bubble and think about life in different ways. So I think it's really really important to have experiences, even if it's like one or two in like 2 3 months. I feel like it, you should take out some time, and whatever experiences that you want to have, go have them.
And like again, there are two questions in it. This, would you prefer to travel solo, and would it be a planned or a non-planned one? Like the planned being, every rate of the hotel and like where you will be
Hmm.
staying and mode of transport, etc.
Hmm.
Or like not planning, you just have a budget and like just take a train and like go there. And
Yeah,
like
so
again, the solo thing also.
yeah, I get asked this question a lot, and I feel like it really depends on how you're feeling at that time. Because as I told you, last September when I went this Samkeshwar trip, I was feeling like I didn't want to talk with anyone else. I just wanted to have that experience myself, and I wanted to be alone, and I wanted to have that experience. How is it to travel solo? That was, I feel like, my first really really travel solo trip. I've went to places before, but I didn't went with the intention of that, yeah, I'm gonna go and explore this place all by myself. And then after that, the Kashi trip, that was in January this year, that I went with some college group friends. Because my college is online, but there is a travel club. There are 2 3 travel clubs. So people do plan trip every 3 or 4 months, when we have like mini vacation sort of like of 15 days and all. So in that, the travel club plans the 3 or 4 days trip, and that is basically planned. But yeah, then again there are things that are unpredictable. But yeah, I feel like it depends on you and how you are feeling at the time. I wanted to go to Banaras, but I was like, I have not went with any college people. I didn't interact with that many college people before. Because I do go to campus once in a while, because we are allowed in the campus. It's just that we can't get hostel in the campus. We have to stay outside if we want to go every day. So yeah, I didn't interact with a lot of people that time. So I was like, yeah, let me just go with a group, and I'll see what it is like. And I feel like the both of these experiences are like equally same for me. But it's just that
Okay.
one was where I felt that I wanted to go solo, and I wanted to have that kind of experience. And this one was more of like interactive, and traveling with people and experiencing how it is with other people. So yeah, that's my take on it. And
Yeah,
it's
and like
like,
I
yeah,
yeah, you continue.
and about that budget and the whole planned or non-planned thing.
Yeah, plan on.
Yeah, yeah, I feel like if you have a sufficient budget, if you are going solo, I would prefer non-planned trip. Because
Okay.
Yeah, because that way you can do whatever you want, that there is a freedom in that, that you can decide to stay anywhere by not booking the hotel 15 days before or 1 month before. You can just go with the flow. Who knows, maybe you found someone on your trip and you felt like, yeah, you guys can interact more, and then you guys can stay somewhere, whatever it can be. So I feel
Yeah,
like if you are going solo, I would, if I was there, I would prefer a non-planned trip. But if you are going with a group, like even if it's two or three people, it's better unplanned. But if it's more than that, like if there are four or five
yeah.
people or more than that, it's better to have some things planned, so you don't like, you can also manage things well.
Yeah, and let me give my take on this.
Yeah,
So
sure.
basically, since my childhood, I have done the planned ones and the group ones because of going with family and all.
Hmm.
And now I want to travel the opposite thing.
Hmm.
Like basically, when I used to go for like the Marvel movies, watching it
Hmm.
in college, I went many times. I went alone, and like
Hmm.
it was like a very marvelous experience because you don't have to like say anything or like tell anyone to do this type of thing. You
Yeah,
just, yeah, you are like a basically a free soul. So like I do want to
exactly.
experience this in a more broadened aspect, to
Hmm.
travel like solo, at a good place of sorts.
Hmm.
And again, if you are traveling solo, it would be like better to do it unplanned, because
Yeah.
like for example, I was like doing my internship, and I had a strong urge to just go to Varanasi, and not think how would I go it. I
Hmm.
couldn't do it because again, the leaves was a different thing. But
Hmm.
like I also I plan to do it now whenever I get free. But
Hmm.
it was more is an impulsive thing if you do it just unplanned and just go there to like
Yeah.
get more of an experience.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
if it is planned, you wouldn't experiences the juices of interacting with people, and like getting to know which place is good. And when it is a definite planned like hotel of sorts, you will just take a cab and go there and like go in your room.
Yeah, yeah. Definitely agree, because that's also that was also one of my points. Because if you're going with a group, then you are just like, yeah, I'm with these people, I'll just stick with them. You don't talk with, you don't go out of your comfort zone to talk with someone else. Because
Yeah,
like I encountered many foreigners in Varanasi, and I wanted to talk to them and have that conversation with. I was afraid, obviously, because I approaching someone and was foreigner and then talking with them is a bit difficult. And as an
yeah, I
Indian,
mean,
we are like, yeah. But because it was a group trip, I couldn't do it, because there were times that they were like, yeah, now we have to leave, now we have to do that, now we have to do that.
yeah,
So I definitely plan to go to Varanasi alone again, so I can, because after finishing that trip, on my way back home, I actually couldn't get the train directly from Varanasi to
okay,
like around my home or whatever. So I went to Ajmer, and then from Ajmer I had this train to Ahmedabad. So I stayed in Ajmer for 2 days, and I went to Pushkar as well. It's just nearby, and there were many foreigners. And there is like Ganga Ghat, and I was just it was like sunset time, and I was sitting there, and there was like an old guy from England that just sat nearby me. And I was like, I thought about it for like 10 minutes. I was like, really anxious, and I was nervous. But then I
yeah,
finally said, I said it in very like low voice, hello. But he heard it, and then he was like, oh hi, and then he initiated the conversation. So I talked with him for like 15 to 20 minutes, and then we went our way. But I was like, yeah, this is some kind of experience that I want to have more of these, because it
yeah,
pushes you to, talk with someone entirely different. He was from London, he was in his 40s, I guess, and I'm in my 20s. So it's like, half of the age gap. And but
yeah,
I talked with him, and it was like very nice. He was saying that I went there, I really like this, I really like that. And he was like, what are you doing, why are you traveling solo? And we talked about these things. And it was like, I really felt refreshed after this, because I was afraid, but I did it. And it is actually like a good thing. You get to know about things more, and you get to know about entirely different perspective. But when you are with a group, you are just forced to do certain things on certain time, and you are just forced to stay somewhere that is pre-decided and all. So definitely traveling solo gives you more experiences, and it allows you to experience the place and the people more, because I feel like it's not just the place, it's the people as well. If you interact with the people, you get to like get in that feel, that how is it to live there, from their perspective or from their experiences. They share their stories. So it's actually nice. And it's like, if you search on internet, you'll find some places that, yeah, this is the famous place, you should go there, or this is the famous place, you should eat there. But locals
Yeah,
know better, as always. So if you
yeah,
interact with them, you actually get to you get to know hidden gems of that place that you wouldn't otherwise have known if you went with a group, or you after you went with like just searching on the internet or whatever. So
yeah.
yeah.
Like for example, if you are traveling with a group and you have booked a hotel of sorts, and like while you were entering the hotel and like going in your room, you wouldn't like naturally talk more with the receptionist and
Yeah.
all,
Yeah.
and like would be more inclined to talk with your group. But
Mm.
if you are like alone and traveling solo, you like there is a more chance of spending 1 or 2 hours talking to the receptionist about like
Sure. Yeah.
anything.
Because you
Yeah,
would
basically
have
the
a lot of
constraints are not
questions.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And you would have a lot of questions, you would be curious, and if someone sees you are curious, I feel like most of the time people are happy to reply and talk with you.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
if you would be just going with the group, it's like, yeah, you are just in your close friends group, and you are just there, and you are just gonna go to some places and click photos and just come back and sleep in your room.
Yeah, and like let me tell you about my ideal like Varanasi experience. Like I have
Mm.
not done it, but I have do plan to do it. Basically, from where I'm right now in Delhi, it's like a very long trip. So
Mm.
it would be most probably with a train, and I like I don't have a clue of how would like experiential it that would be, but like I would land on the place and like just roam around and like at the time of lunch I would get something to eat and like talk to people, and if there are genuinely good conversations like capture them in my camera, and maybe again if they are 1 hour long conversation I can also put in on this podcast.
Yeah.
And like I don't know. I whenever I see the videos about Varanasi and all, just feel the energy which do flow there. So
Mm.
like ideally, it would be awesome to just stand there and watch the Ganga and the Aarti from
Yeah.
the evening, and like get back to whatever place you got, maybe a homestead of sorts,
Mm.
like very late, and maybe go
Yeah.
again after like midnight and like feel the vibe which is there.
Yeah.
And once you have done this for 1 or 2 days, then you can roam the city and like explore it a bit
Mm.
to get more experience, and again capture it would be very awesome. And
Yeah,
like
actually, if
if I
you yeah.
yeah, if I would do it, it would be a sort of a week's trip.
Mm.
Yeah,
Sure. So actually, if you saw that, Shiv Kinagri video, that
yeah,
was I attended the Ganga Aarti at the Sashwamedh Ghat, and it was like my group was mostly in the side, because there are people gathering from like 4 to 5 o'clock in the evening to attend the Aarti at like 7:30 or something. I don't remember
okay,
exactly the timing, because it changes a bit because of the weather and all. But
yeah,
yeah, we went there at around 5 o'clock, and the place was already crowding up. Like people were there in the boats in the river, and then people were there behind the whole Aarti setup, and then in front of it. And I seeped through the crowd and all. I totally went to the front of where the person was doing the Aarti.
Yeah.
I waited there for like 2 hours, and then I was like tired because I was standing the whole time. But still, I captured everything that I could from up close because I just wanted to capture the experience, and I wanted to have that experience, that
Yeah.
dhol, that everything, the aarti going on just right in front of you. Not you are just like looking from the sideways. It's really nice because I was standing the whole time, but I feel like it was still, yeah, it was the best experience that I could get of that aarti. Yeah, see, he was just in front of me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I can only imagine the vibes, the energy
yeah,
that particular place gives off, and like
yeah.
there are guards also in which they like cremate people. Uh, I mean, it would be very experiential if I do get to do it someday.
There is, yeah, actually, this shot is of Manikarnika Ghat. So that ghat is where people are burned after the all the ritual, the dead people,
Yeah.
and it's like if you go in the day, you'll see it, and that's all fine. This I went to Manikarnika Ghat after 12 p.m. or after like 12 in the night. And
Yeah.
to be
Midnight,
really
basically.
honest, yeah,
Yeah.
to be really honest, it was a heavy experience because I haven't I haven't experienced the death in that up close. There were some deaths in my long family when I was like child, but that
Yeah.
time you are clueless and all. But I went there, and there is something in the air that makes you feel heavy. It makes
Yeah.
you it makes you think, and eventually I feel like, I feel like eventually it makes you think about not just your career or not just your what you're doing at life. It makes you think about what's the bigger picture of this, because
Yeah.
you realize that eventually it's this. Whatever you do in your life, whatever number of years you live, it's eventually this, and it's all things eventually will come down to this. So, and even after I went back, I had like this in my heart. The air was just that heavy, that I felt like I my heart actually felt heavy. For like I slept, and I remember that I had like bad dreams, not bad dreams, but those kind of dreams where
Yeah.
you are experiencing some emotional or experiencing some actual, and it actually felt like that I was experiencing it up close. And after waking up the next morning, I actually did felt like, yeah, this was necessary for me, and it was a good thing that I went there.
Yeah. I mean, from the starting only, there is a sort of attraction. Uh, Whenever I see something like the madness, and like if there the level of normal is very high.
Hmm.
So yeah, I can understand the heaviness which you are talking about, and that's the only like that's the prominent reason
Hmm.
which I want to do it solo someday.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, I was mostly solo because no one wanted to go there. I won't blame them, but I felt like, for me personally, I felt like people were like, "Why are you even going there? What's even the point? It's whatever, whatever." And but I was like, I want to experience it. How is it being there in presence of someone's ashes burning, or someone is
Yeah.
already burnt, and still new people are coming there with dead bodies, and because it they say, and I saw, because the flame in Manikarnika Ghat never goes away. There is always something burning in that ghat, and it's just
Yeah.
beside the Lalita Ghat. That Lalita Ghat is like grandiose. There are like steps, and just above that is the Kashi Vishwanath temple, and just alongside with it there is Manikarnika Ghat, and there are no steps. There are just chitas everywhere, and people are constantly coming with their family members who is dead, and they are doing the ritual, and then they are burning or whatever. So I was like, I wanted to experience that reality, and I'm actually glad that I went there. There was only one of my friend, and he also like stayed behind on the Lalita Ghat. He could see me from the distance, but
Yeah.
yeah, I went there up close, and I experienced that time.
Yeah, I mean, like the way the thing you told, I guess there are three types of people, and like two types of thing in this. Basically, the feeling and the fact.
Hmm.
You personally like have experienced both the feeling and the fact, like the
Hmm.
feeling being the heaviness and the fact being the people are like cremated
You
there.
eventually die.
And
Yeah.
me personally, I have not seen the fact because again I have not been there
Hmm.
till now. And but like I am drawn towards the feeling aspect of it. And like
Hmm.
there are third type of people which like, I guess, more of a kind of ignorant about both the
Yeah.
feeling and the fact, like
Yeah.
the fact because they don't know the fact, and the feeling because the particular feeling don't click with them.
Yeah, or maybe just they don't want to like accept it, or maybe they are
Yeah,
afraid. Some of the people that said why are you going and all, I felt in their eyes that they were afraid to face that reality, on coming
yeah, the
face to
ultimate
face
truth.
with it. Yeah, ultimate fact. Yeah. So yeah, that I saw, but I feel like, and for me personally, I was I mean, of course, I am also a human being, so there are also things that I am afraid of. But I felt like in that moment, at least, that I needed to experience it, no matter how I felt, or no matter how harsh or hard it was. I just had to do it, and I did it, and I'm really glad that I did. And I would even do it again if someone asks me that.
Yeah, I mean, like how influential it would be like if the whole group went there and like they all stood staring at it and like went silent for like hours.
Yeah,
Yeah, I guess we should do it a bit light now, and it's towards the more ending. Yeah, tell me
sure, sure.
about this the concert thing.
Okay.
I'll play the video. It's a device, so like I guess no issues.
वेळ लागल्याशिवाय इतिहास घडत नाही.
लगे कश लगे कश सुरस दिख सा सगड़ा दिखे बस सिटी रश बड़ा हरिया दिखे बस सिटी रश बड़ा हरिया दिखे सड़कें दिखे सौदे दिखे मुझे बस पैसों के पौधे जा जाऊं मिले मौके मौके मुझे बोतलों को फोड़ने का शौक है I Google my name now cause I've been feeling lucky tripping precautionary अपने से दोस्ती कर ली नोटों की गड्डियां टूटी हड्डियां देखी कोर्ट कचहरी.
Okay, so is it like a college fest of sorts,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Actually, it's Triple IT Bhubaneswar, where
Okay,
there is, yeah, my friend studies there. He was in second year, and he invited me, and I was free at that time a bit, so he invited me, and I went there because it was like 800 rupees for 4 days concert and stay as well. It was everything was included. So I just went there, and actually, this was my phone from which he has recorded some clips which are close to the stage, because he is in that photographic club, and also he had that
yeah,
access. And the clips that are from behind all these clips that I had taken, we were just constantly switching phones with each other, and trying to record the whole experience, and then edit and then post it.
okay.
This was Arman
Uh,
Malik, so that was also, yeah.
yeah, I'll play the.
We'll get into a dance vibe. Are you guys ready? Let's do it. कुछ बात गलत
Yeah, I mean, I guess you
Yeah.
won't like copyright me using your content, I guess.
Of course not. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So like I guess we are in the ending of sorts, and
Sure.
like any advice you wanna give to people who are like just starting right now and like even thinking about doing it
Hmm.
for the future.
Yeah. So
And
I
like
feel
what
like, yeah.
yeah, and what are your like future goals around filmmaking, and like do you want to
Hmm.
do a feature film of sorts or like just continue bettering your art form right now?
Hmm. So, uh, for the advice, first thing I would say is, if you are passionate about, creating videos, or if you are just passionate about telling your stories by creating videos, don't be don't get restricted from anything. If you don't have budget
Okay.
for camera, as I said again, just start with your phone. If you don't have many people ask me that Premiere Pro or some there are some editing software that cost you or whatever. There are ways around it. I won't say it in public, but yeah, there are
Yeah,
ways
yeah.
around it that you can find. Or there are some free software as well. There is a DaVinci Resolve, if you have heard it. It's
Yeah, I mean,
mostly
I do use
free.
it.
Yeah, it's free and you can just get started with it. There is nothing stopping you. So don't complain about, I guess, first resources, and second would be your budget or anything, because
Yeah,
YouTube will be heaven for you. Just type anything and you will get everything. There is loads of content. There are lots of tutorial. You can just get started with using that software in 1 hour or so. People have posted some great tutorials on YouTube that you can just watch and get started with it. And I feel like, because for me personally, I would say I had some insecurities before, and from for
okay.
that reason I couldn't
Regarding
start.
making content?
Yeah, regarding like presenting myself on the camera or
Okay, yeah.
talking. Yeah. So yeah, I feel like many people are of course camera shy, and they feel like what will people think about me or whatever. But I feel like when you are starting out, everyone supports you. It's only after you get a bit famous that you start to get a hate comments here and there, because then your videos get recommended to some random people that
Yeah.
don't
I
really care
mean,
about you. Yeah.
yeah, initially the major enemy is yourself, like you
Yeah.
overanalyzing yourself.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
I feel
because I
like
have
people,
done that.
uh, yeah, people will support you, and once you get going, it gets easier, because
Yeah,
everything is tough at once, tough at first, because there's a lot of friction that how will I do this, how will I do that, or whatever. But I feel like whatever you feel like your level is, don't. I mean, I also have to deal with it, but I feel like don't really care about the quality. Try your best to deliver whatever you can. Like if
yeah.
I cared about the quality for that first video, I wouldn't have made it. But because I
Yeah,
didn't care
definitely.
about the quality, and I didn't care about that I only have my phone, or I only have like 500 rupees mic or whatever, so that's why I just went ahead with it and then created it. And it is something I'm still proud of to this day, not because of quality, but because I did it. So just start doing it. And if you feel like you are lacking resources, just go on YouTube, type anything. I feel like most of the time you'll get your solution. And instead of just asking for validation to for someone else that do you think I'll be able to do this, or do you think I'm good
Yeah.
at it, just start it. You'll get lessons and you'll get experiences yourself, and then you'll learn as you go.
Yeah, and the good thing about starting is like however bad you are at your craft right now,
Yeah.
once you started it, it is always going to be better from here. So
Yeah.
like it's better to start earlier. Like
Yeah.
this line clicked me very like recently,
Hmm.
and I had like tried to do this some type of content from around 6 to 7 years from now.
Hmm. And there is always the room to grow. Once you start and once you get going, there is always a
Yeah,
room to grow, and you can always get started with new things as well if you want to, because many people pick up different interests along the way as well, and it's totally okay. If you want to start with something and if you want to switch, that's also okay. Just get going, and I feel like you'll have the things figure out by themselves. And
yeah, yeah,
about my future plans and all, I feel like right now I want to continue making some content that I'm already making, and just level up my storytelling skills, or just my framing skills, and how visually good am I presenting it. And then eventually I feel like eventually I want to do a big scale production, be it in it my own movies, or so that's why I'm
okay,
working on a short film as well right now with a group of people that are also interested. It will come out shortly. It is in editing phase right now, but yeah, eventually I want to collaborate as well, and makes work on some bigger projects, because I feel like you can achieve some things alone, of course, but when you collaborate, the level that things can go to,
Yeah,
it
it
just,
magnifies.
yeah, it magnifies a lot. So that's why eventually I want to write screenplays and maybe create short film first myself, and then maybe a series, and then just go from there.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
that's the
I
bigger goal.
also write, so like we can collaborate in
For
like
sure.
the initial part of the story.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any last question you wanna ask me?
No, I feel like we have done a great conversation. If you want to add
Yeah,
on
I
something,
mean,
sure.
indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's the ending. I guess on that note we'll end it.
All right.
Yeah, thank you for coming and accepting this.
Sure. I
Yeah,
look forward to the Hindi episode as well. Hopefully, we'll do it. And yeah, let's keep growing.
yeah. Remember, we'll grow together.
Yeah, we of course we can only grow together, and we
Yeah,
can grow together like fast, rapidly.